Hello again and welcome to another episode of the Franchise Everything podcast, where we talk about everything and anything franchising. And today we are in Sydney in Surry Hills, and we are at HIIT Pilates Surry Hills, and we're joined by Shirley Chan, you are the first franchise owner for HIIT Pilates, are you not, Shirley?
That is correct. Very, very first franchise.
Excellent. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us here and having us in your lovely studio. You can hear a bit of an echo. It's a nice long studio and everything, and so it's a bit of a spongy floor, isn't it? You've got
that's it, and that's all about the HIIT experience.
Yep.
The HIIT classes isn't just about being on the beds, working through the reformer workout.
Yeah.
We have that HIIT at the start, and we really encourage our community and our customers to pick up those heavy dumbbells. So this soft sort of like squishy flooring is to help capture that.
It's very necessary.
Exactly. You don't carry just a pair of twos here most of the time, so we're always encouraging our customers to go harder, go bigger, and hence
Excellent.
The flooring reflects that.
Like all fitness people, say, come on, go harder. So for those who don't know though, what is HIIT Pilates? What is the HIIT component?
Look, the HIIT component, it's a series of exercises. We split it up into our main 3 classes, 3 out of 4, but our main 3, we have a sweat class, we have a strength class, and we have a synergy. And sweat, all about getting that heart rate up. Mm-hmm. It's all about body weight exercises, and it's there to get you fitter, really work that cardio. We have about 4 to 6 exercises depending on the type of exercise we have on that day.
Yep. So it varies depending on the day?
Exactly, yeah. It changes every week. And they'll be working off the reformer next to the bed in their little workstation with the HIIT component on our TV. And then after it's about 12 minutes, 3 rounds of that, we're back on the bed for the rest of the class.
It's a very cool little compact sort of setup, isn't it, to be able to really work out as opposed to what are those big box gyms type of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very structured. You know exactly, like on that workspace next to your bed, you're there to work through that HIIT component, whether it's cardio, whether it's strength when you're using those dumbbells. And then straight after that, you're on the bed straight away.
So first franchise owner, as I said, how many months now is it? How long have you been open for?
Open for 4 months.
4 months.
Yes.
Okay. And you still got a smile on your face, which is good. Is good. So how did you find yourself here? So were you a Pilates person before, or how did it all work?
I met the owner of the HIIT Pilates brand about 11 years ago.
So you got a long history.
Very long history. Back town hall, very first group reformer class. And she was one of the instructors, and I was very, very drawn to her, to the point where I added her on Facebook, which is creepy as it's not, but I added her on Facebook. She did accept, which leads to, how we've arrived here.
You see how important it is to accept friends on Facebook?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's Carla.
And that was Carla,
yeah.
yes. Coming into reformer Pilates for the first time in a group setting, it was a game changer. Never done it before. I remember my friend telling me, let's go try this.
So what were you doing beforehand? What was your exercise routine
probably
beforehand?
Nothing. Walks here and there. Maybe I went to the gym.
A good brisk walk? It's a very old person sort of thing.
Never really had a fitness routine until I started reformer Pilates. Now, it was very on and off though. And when I started at Elixir, that was at that point in time.
That was the other location.
Correct, yeah. And it just built from there. My love for reformer, trying out different sort of studios. But I was living in Sydney at that time. Then I also moved to London. In London, I tried out lots of different studios over there, but I never got a strict routine of fitness.
So were you doing Pilates and everything while you were over there in London?
I was, but I was also trying lots of different things. And when I came back, I saw Carla had opened up a studio at that time it was already St. Leonard's. She already had 2, but I was living close to St. Leonard's, and I saw it come up on a Facebook ad and also from her Facebook profile. So, all of that.
So the stalking
Facebook,
continued.
It continued.
Yeah.
And I would say I hadn't spoken to Carla for years. I remember before I left to go to London, I did ask her, were there any studios in London you would recommend? And that was all about the interaction that we had at that time. But yeah, I came back from London, went straight back into my full-time job, and I saw the opportunity that she created a HIIT Pilates Academy, training to become a Pilates instructor. Never crossed my mind.
Never crossed your mind to do it, to become an
until I
instructor.
saw it. And
So Carla was your instructor at
She
that
was.
previous placement. So that's
Yes.
how the real connection happened.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
right.
yes.
And it's funny because we always have a 10-minute pre-chat, don't we, before a podcast, right? And you've stung me a little bit because you never mentioned you went to London. You've just said, oh, in London. I'm
lots of
like,
things.
well, you never said that before.
Yeah.
Okay. So what were you doing in London? Let's sort of, because this is a franchise owner journey,
Yes.
so we're trying to understand how you got to where you are now.
Yeah.
So what were you doing in London?
Well, look, I might even take another step back.
Take a step back, yeah.
Because in Sydney, I was studying at university in a commerce degree. I graduated. I went down the conventional route of becoming a chartered accountant. I was working at the Big Fours, and within that Big Four, I got a really awesome opportunity to go to Toronto, and I lived in Toronto for 3 months.
So we've got another country
Another
now you didn't tell me about.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And I was there for 3 months. I came back to Australia, and that itch was still there to move overseas, and that's when I decided to go to London. So I lived there for 2 years.
With one of the Big Four, you went over and did that opportunity?
No, I didn't. I resigned, and I went to London without a job, and I found a job there. It was awesome, fantastic experience. I loved it.
You're obviously a pretty adventurous type of person then, if you just, or was it just
so.
young and think it's all going to work out?
I think this actually is a really good segue into why I opened. I know we're jumping ahead, but I've always craved more. I've always wanted to do something different. I was always trying to look for something different. And I think that journey of me into a franchise owner is exactly that. You know, I took the opportunity to go live overseas for 3 months, had never left home, always lived at home. Took the opportunity to go live in London without a job, starting fresh, and it would only be my second job of my career, heading on over there, and all the travels. You know, I was very fueled by just opportunities and just doing different things and just living my life.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
So you got back to Australia. How long were you in London for? 2 years, did you say?
2 years,
Okay,
yeah,
so you got back here, where were we talking, 21, 22?
About 2019.
2019.
Yes.
Okay, so you jumped back into some Pilates, I'm guessing?
Oh, look, it took a while. I got a job, it didn't quite work out. And so I was still trying to find my place again after being abroad, coming back to Sydney. But when I moved away, and especially when I moved over to Neutral Bay and I was closer to the St. Leonard studio, that's when it came up. And being so close, it's only 8 minutes drive.
Yeah.
That's how I sort of discovered like HIIT Pilates and reconnected with Carla again.
So now the difference in this time though, Carla had the studio and also an academy to train Pilates instructors.
Yep.
So tell me about the journey to get you into that.
I was very short.
Because that's quite a leap into being a franchise owner as well. It was a short leap, was it?
Well, it was very short in me becoming a Pilates instructor because I remember just seeing it on Facebook. And
Damn, Facebook again. It's like you spend way too much time on it, clearly.
Clearly.
But it's paid out well for you.
It has. And then I remember that day that I saw it, I messaged Carla on Messenger being like, hey, long time. Sounds really random, but I did see this HIIT Pilates Academy that you have created. And then we went from there.
Okay.
I signed up. And I just did it.
And you said, how long was the course?
The course was about 6 weeks.
Okay.
On the weekends, which worked great for me as someone that still worked full time. Very, very intense period, but you learnt so much. It wasn't just about how to teach one exercise. It was much broader than that. It was learning about different cueing techniques, things that you don't really think about when you go and attend a class.
So what's a cueing technique? Sorry, what do you mean?
Different techniques of like whether it's your sorry, what would you call it? whether it's like visual cueing techniques where you're using your arms and you're showing the
visual
directional
cues
way.
and things like that. Okay,
exactly.
yeah.
Or it's like
I thought you were talking
how
about
you
cueing
describe
waiting for
it.
equipment or something.
Right, yeah.
That's how you cue it. I thought you were talking about that.
No,
Yeah.
and also, how do you modify, with the customer and
Depending on the
holding
person
onto
and
them,
their-
exactly,
yeah.
reading the room.
Yep.
How do you create a great class?
Yeah.
But going even deeper into like learning about the body and the anatomy, being an instructor isn't just about leading a class. It's much more bigger than that. It's an experience that you create. You're opening up a really safe space for all these people to come into that space that you're creating, and yes, delivering a good class, but also coming out of the class feeling great.
Yeah, I know, because we've interviewed Carla a couple of times. If you're watching this podcast, you might see a few of the other videos. But and she talks a lot about community and how important the instructor is in that class to make sure that everyone gets a great experience, monitoring, get a lot of one-on-one time as you're cruising around there.
Yep.
And so to achieve that, obviously she needed to create a training academy to train the right way.
Yep.
Right. So you came through that. So when you came out of that and you're done, what was your vision for that? Were you just going to be an instructor? Was that your thought? What was the...
I'll be honest, I didn't really have a vision. I finished the course and it was something that I did for myself personally. It was a very personal decision to go, I'm going to try something different. And it was great. I was able to do it on the side on the weekend. But Carla... very, very persuasive and managed to rope me in and passionate and roped me into, well, how about next Saturday? And I'm like, okay.
To take a class, to lead a class.
Yes, and just to start teaching.
Yep.
And then away we went. There wasn't much thought about it. It was just, let's do it.
I suppose it's important, isn't it? Once you come out of a class, an academy that's teaching you to take classes, if you don't take classes for several months, it sort of gets a bit cold, wouldn't it? You'd lose some confidence, I'm guessing.
I wouldn't say that. I think you come out of an academy going, okay, I've got all of these resources to be able to teach a class. But the difference is coming out of academy going, okay, cool, I've got all these resources. I know how to pull a class together and deliver a class. But what Carla and the team does is they genuinely care that you have the confidence to go and deliver a class. I came out of there going, yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, good.
I can deliver a good class.
Super important, isn't it? Because it's one thing to be given the technical skills, or you go through and do all the ticks, but if you actually don't have, you feel you're capable to do it, then it's not really effective, is it?
You can have a certificate, but that doesn't really mean anything unless you really believe it yourself and you're able to walk into the room and just own it. And those are the things beyond just a Pilates handbook that Carla and the HIIT Pilates Academy gives to you as part of the course. It's beyond that. It's how do you own the room? How do you work on your own sort of self-confidence as well to be able to go out there, pick up a microphone and tell every single person in that class what to do.
Go for it.
And they listen to you.
And no one questions you.
Yes, exactly.
So with all of that, so now I'm interested, because Carla's spoken about the academy before, and I love the concept of it. So she's training instructors, but she's also training people who are to be perfect going forward, to be franchise owners, which you obviously the first one.
Yep.
So what was the leap from instructor? How many classes did you take? Did you run it for a whole bunch of months and, hey, I want my own studio? Tell me about the journey.
The very first day when we went into a HIIT Pilates Academy, we all sat around in a room and we introduced ourselves and was just talking about why were we here? What did we want to do? And I remember that very first day. It was quite emotional because I told you it was a very personal decision to go and go into this course. I remember saying, in the future, I want to have the option of owning my own studio.
The option of.
Yeah. And it was already that very first day of the academy. I already had that thought. Now, did I have the vision? Was I ready to teach straight after? Maybe not. I know you asked me that question before, but at that time when I introduced myself, it did. That was what came out.
Yep.
So, it was on my mind, but didn't know whether it was feasible, how it would work. And I think the very first thing was, okay, if I'm teaching, then let's just tick that off first. I do have a very demanding career, and Carla and the team helped me navigate through that and gave me so many options to still be able to teach with a full-time job, working from Monday to Friday, and then being able to still teach on the weekend. And on some days I was I was working all 7 days. But I had the flexibility to make sure it worked around me. And slowly reduced it to just 6 days, so it's just once every weekend. But I couldn't let it go. A lot of people spoke to me during that period, and even pre-Pilates, I used to work at David Jones on the weekend while I had a full-time job. So it's becoming a bit of a theme. I'm just always
keep working. You don't have much of a social life, obviously.
Clearly not, yeah. It's, they're like, how do you do it? And I go, I don't know. It is busy, and it can get tiring. But I could never let it go. There's just something about it. I wanted to keep going. Yeah. And a time came when Carla and I were talking more seriously about franchise, how it was going to work, what would it take, to open it.
Did you have any knowledge of franchising at all before that?
Absolutely not. This is my very first business as well, so it's a completely new area. And look, I'm in the finance industry. I work in a business. I understand how a business runs, but I always knew that this was going to be a different ball game
as a small business owner. Yeah, it's a different proposition, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. As a finance professional, you work in one part of a business, but as a small business owner, you wear all hats.
Well, I had a bank manager once tell me about, he used to approve business loans and everything like that, and he said, I want a business plan for it. And he actually said to me, this is years and years ago, he says, don't tell anyone, but I used to approve all those business loans. And then when I wanted to start my own business, I thought, where do I even start to put together a business loan? So even people who are involved in it who haven't done it, it's still very foreign to run your own business when it's all on you.
Yeah. And this didn't happen overnight. Like Carla and I spoke about it for, I would say, more than a year, on and off on, what sort of like locations. Again, really getting into the nitty gritty of how will we set it up? How will it work? Me being very nervous about it. Is it going to work while I still have my full-time job? All of these questions, and Carla was so open and really will answer my text in the next second. Being able to have those open conversations and talking through it. And one is also giving Carla confidence on where my head was at and what I saw in my vision of a franchise.
Franchisee is very important.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
But also it was like a vice versa on what support that she was giving me and telling me, what is possible.
So it's very interesting. I only found out when we had a little debrief. I didn't realise you were still working full-time in another career. So how do you juggle running a business and also working full-time? How does that work?
It's a work in progress. Not going to lie.
You haven't got it all sorted fully, no.
Definitely not.
But you're not still doing David Jones though as well on the weekend,
that would be crazy. Yes. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I probably would.
Probably would.
People around my life wouldn't be surprised. They'd be like, that sounds like Shirley.
A thought bubble in your head.
Yeah. It's difficult, but it's taught me quite a bit on compartmentalizing. And prioritizing and making efficient use of my time. It's not easy, but also I think me being able to sit here and talk about it, it's doable, and definitely would not be able.
Calm. You actually look pretty calm. You were calm when you walked in, so that's the first sign.
And it wouldn't be possible without like Carla's support and also like my own family as well. This is it's not a one-man show.
Yes,
it's a whole team, backing this, and it's difficult in terms of time, definitely, but making it work.
And I think a lot of people don't notice it because it happens always in the background. It's the franchise business model as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things built in place, and I think can be negativity around franchising, but I think people don't acknowledge all of the stresses that it actually takes away. So you still having your full-time job and starting your own Pilates studio all on your own is probably not quite as feasible as systems in place as a franchise.
Absolutely. I mean, I've worked in the other studios, and that also helps a lot because I knew exactly how operationally a studio was going to be run.
Yep.
But starting something fresh without going into a franchise, you're talking about your systems, you're talking about how you set up your staff, your class structures, your class times, all of those very little things that you may not think about, and it comes to life when you start opening. That's all set up already. It's already tried and tested.
Proven and tested. And
exactly.
Methodology. So what was the build like? What was finding the location? Yep. What was the path to getting all that done?
Look, location, I think we went everywhere.
Did you? Did you
north,
know you wanted
south,
this vicinity?
East, west. Oh no. We went all around.
Is that right?
And I think it's just because we were quite open to where the first location would be. And it's, I don't even think Surry Hills was one of the locations that we first thought about. We were, looking more in the inner west. Then we went south. Then we came back up. And then now we're here in Surry Hills. And
you sort of been tracking all over the place.
We were all over the place. But
which is in saying that, it's just doable when you've got a small number of studios to start with. It gives you a whole heap of options.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it also represents like we weren't rushing into one location. Yep. It wasn't.
Had to be right.
Exactly. And it took time. And it's the very first franchise as well. Like we said,
Carla's already got 3 studios, so it's a proven concept and everything. There are other franchisees out there who do one store and then open up franchises straight away. I know that there's been 3 studios first before you came on board.
Yeah, and I'm the 4th one, and finding that right location was important.
And the build, putting it together, how long did that take?
You know what? I think it was only 4 weeks.
Because looks actually the beauty of it. I remember speaking to Carla about it when we had I think we talked about a business model or something, that it can come together pretty quickly. I think it's the benefit of having not so much equipment and not so many requirements in it, just an open space.
Yeah. When you look around for all the locations and when Carla and I came in here, it was like, this was it. It was perfect. Yeah. The space, Carla already had the vision of how we would break up the space, where the waiting room was going to be, where the beds were going to be, where the mirrors, the TVs, and all that. She already had that vision, and I think that comes to, we knew the moment that we walked in the door, it was this was the space.
So how many months into it before you found the space?
Oh, it was like 9-10 months.
Oh, well, so you had to be patient.
Yeah, we were very, very patient. We really made sure that it was the right location. Yep.
And what was opening like? How was all that? Your first
whirlwind.
Was it? Yeah. Did you video your first class in here and all that sort of stuff? Have you got like your own commemoration?
I don't even remember. I don't.
It was a blur.
It was a blur.
That's been exciting though.
The other crazy thing was we did the build over Christmas holiday, and to be able to do all of that during when everyone is on holidays, the trades, it was anyone that helped.
Everyone comes back after Australia Day.
Exactly,
That's what happens,
exactly.
Yeah.
And we opened on the 6th of Jan.
Okay.
Almost delayed it, but we made it 6th of Jan.
Got it done.
We got it done, and it was a whirlwind. So that's why I have like no words, because I can't even describe. I think it was day one, and we're like, whoop, 6 a.m. and here we go.
And we're here. So I know you're doing a lot of your own marketing strategies, initiatives, and working on things there. What's it like? Because I can imagine, I'm only guessing here or making assumptions here, which are dangerous. So in your other career as a chartered accountant, I imagine it's not as creative, and you've got a creative outlet here where you can do things to actually have a real impact on your business. What's it like getting your hands dirty and that sort of stuff?
It took some time. It definitely took some time. with owning a studio and owning this Pilates studio and HIIT Pilates in general, it's all about like community. It's so important for us to make sure that we are creating a community in our studio space. Yep. And a part of that is the marketing and how do we reach to the right people and the right clients and the right customers. And me going into doing stuff like in Canva, pulling posters together.
It's a bit of fun though, isn't it? It's a bit of fun.
I'm doing it on my phone sometimes. I'm sure some people wouldn't recommend that.
No, I wouldn't recommend that.
But I did that poster, the Winter Challenge poster that I've done it was done on my phone, and I was just doing it on my phone. But it's fantastic. It's so much fun. I think having so many ideas, I have so many ideas in my head. It's sometimes very difficult to put it all on paper, but when I'm able to just think about, okay, no, I'm creating a poster now.
Do you bounce all that stuff off Carla?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's lots of fun. And being able to not do that out of my corporate job of finance, it's a very, very different world.
No bet.
Learning as I go.
That's great. So what does the future look like, do you think? So crystal balling, I know it's always dangerous, and you come back and we'll revisit you in 2 years' time and see where you're at. What are your thoughts on the future now? 4 months in, I know it's pretty early.
Yeah, it's early.
Make some predictions.
It's early days, but I see in the years to come that I will have more studios.
Yep. Which is clearly it's a model. If you can work full time and have the one studio and get it up and running.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost proof of your own concept, isn't it?
Absolutely. The vision is that it's passive income. We're a business, and that I'm being able to
build up. Doesn't sound too passive, mind you. It sounds like a bit of work.
It's definitely a bit of work, but that's what you're striving towards.
Of course.
That should be your end goal. And to be able to have multiple studios that are running with a fantastic and a really strong team. That's where I see, in the next couple of years.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for telling your story. I really enjoyed hearing it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. And that's it again for another episode of the Franchise Everything podcast. If you like this sort of stuff, please share, subscribe, do all that sort of stuff. You know what to do. And we'll catch you in the next one soon.